a leading opposition political party in the country, when in fact he's a leading loser in the just ended elections and qualifies to be recorded in the Guinness Book of Records for attending the most zeros at polling stations right across the country. We ask him to take it easy. For now, he would do better, first of all, to reflect on his poor and short performance in the elections, where his greatest success was to be #1 with zeros. Not even a councillor, not even winning a single polling station. So let him put his house in order and also give those who have representation at council and parliament to show that they are the leading opposition political parties, such as the Opposition Patriotic Front. But we appreciate they are also hesitant to engage actively, because I think they respect the fact that this administration is new. This is a very popular administration with more than 1 million votes, unprecedentedly so, difference. And therefore, to quickly begin to attack this government is like mocking the citizens who gave legitimacy to this government. We are not saying this government should not be criticized, but we are saying let us come to terms with reality. This government, its cabinet is just a few days old. It is just beginning to sit and deliberate going forward on the affairs of the governance of this country. Therefore, how does someone begin to say, in the name of democratic criticism, can you deliver free education? You promised free education, HH, can you deliver now? I mean, at law we say that is unreasonable. And again at law we say maybe he's doing it innocently, where innocence means not knowing what you are doing or saying. So we forgive Sean Tembo. Let him concentrate on putting his house in order. As for our colleagues, the Patriotic Front, they still have, we still need them to go through a deep sense of reflection on how they were oblivious and did not know that they were going to be kicked out of governance. They did not know. Many of them are shocked that this is the situation. But you remember on this table, we emphasize that when Zambia wants to change, it changes regardless of the amount of money you dish out, regardless of the amount of jitenge you give to people and tie to street lights and trees. Regardless, Zambia changes, especially when you tamper with the peace and unity of a country. Zambians will take nothing of that. That is what has just happened. So we invite our colleagues, the Patriot Front, to continue enjoying the honeymoon of being in the opposition and support the government of the day. We want to work with them. We want to work with them. The New Dawn administration under the leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema will maintain an open door policy for all citizens to participate in the governance of the country. But of course, not to suggest that they are coming to begin to be appointed as cabinet ministers. No. The people of Zambia have said no. These need to be audited first. There was too much corruption under the Patriotic Front leadership. And we do expect as a party that they will cooperate with the government of the day in the crusade against corruption, so that this window or episode can be archived into history having done what is right in line with the rule of law. Let me now come to issue number 3. The issue to do with the concerns about the gender ministry. That phone can be given better treatment, or do you wish to auction it as well? You can remove the volume or hold back at the back there where the volume comes from. If you can't, you can do it slightly there. Thank you. Now, as a party, we are fully aware that the women's movement are concerned about the gender ministry and its state or status presently, following the announcement of the ministries thus this far created, realigned, or maintained. May I take this opportunity to reiterate the government and indeed His Excellency President Hakainde's commitment to gender equality and women empowerment in Zambia. His Excellency President Hakainde Hichilema remains committed to ensuring that women do not only participate in decision-making in the governance of our country, but also benefit equally from the various developmental processes taking place right across the country. The President remains grateful for the wide-ranging support that he received and his administration at the just-ended pause, with women accounting for not less than 53% of registered voters, therefore the people who, together with the youth, delivered this new dawn administration. President is eternally grateful to such kind of support, and we will do everything to reciprocate and acknowledge that that support is in exchange for a better living for the youth and for the women. As stated, as a party, we are aware that this new dawn administration remains committed to ensure that we do have gender equality at all levels. We are, however, cognizant of the fact that due to historical and structural challenges buttressed by entrenched male patriarchy, it has become difficult presently to have 50-50 women and men representation, as exemplified by the current composition of parliament and councils around the country that are male-dominated. We are aware as a party that the government is currently studying how best to reposition the gender machinery to make it more responsive to current dynamics and the historical challenges of male patriarchy. It is the hope of this party that the government will and intends to create, beyond just political rhetoric, create a gender machinery that will guarantee and ensure gender equality at all levels. Presently, various options are being explored to come up with the very best options that will respond to the challenges and needs of women and girls. We are aware that the government is also in the process of establishing how best to operationalize the Gender Commission, which has remained unoperationalized for a very long time, despite numerous calls from the women movement and gender champions like the Men's Parliamentary Network on Gender Equality at Parliament that I chair. His Excellency, President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, and his new Dawn administration is and are currently consulting with various stakeholders, including the women movement, on the most favorable options going forward that should result not just in the visibility of a gender ministry, a gender desk, a gender department, or whatever description at any level, but options that will optimize access to various opportunities, business opportunities, governance opportunities, entrepreneurial opportunities, economic opportunities, access to land opportunities, and any other such women empowerment opportunities that should place women in a more realistic position to change their lives themselves. That is what His Excellency the President is currently reviewing and consulting upon. We therefore urge or request the women movement to be calm about it, as their plight will be taken into account in a more robust, meticulous, and meaningful manner than mere statement of visibility. It is the beneficiation at the end of the day that will count for whatever decisions and options this new Dawn administration finally opts to adopt. I thank you, dear colleagues from the media. This is where I end for now.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mweetwa, for that briefing. Unless there are one or two issues that need clarity. Okay. Can start?
Good afternoon, Honorable.
Good afternoon.
My name is Alan Karibu from Mweetwa. I wanted to find out, as your government, what are you doing to support the traditional affairs and also the chiefs? Because we know that the Minister of Chiefs and Traditional Affairs.
Yes, Edwin.
Good afternoon, Honorable.
Good afternoon.
Edwin from Musanza. One of the concerns of the citizens on some of the promises you have made is the time frame has not really been specified. So maybe you can try to shed a little some light on it, on when some of them, like we've already seen, others have already started demanding on the chief advisor to come next month, that is in November. So when exactly is the time frame for some of these things for the citizens to start benefiting from that?
Yes, Mark.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, Honorable. My name is Edna Lungu from Spring TV. I have two questions. The first one being, how is the new administration handling the debt swap? I don't know if you can give a little more detail on that one. Secondly, there are complaints from the players in the informal sector, that is the markets and the bus stations, that the old systems are creeping back into these places. I was in the Michael Jutas at the market yesterday, where this farmer was saying that some of the payments that they were being charged in the previous administration, where there were cutters in the station, are still prevalent there, and the bus stations also, people are hearing that these people are close by and trying to come back into the market. So is there anything being done to ensure that the systems are completely clean and that no one that is tagged a political cadre? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, there is one point I needed to bring to the attention of the media, which is extremely crucial. In respect to the Gulfstream presidential jet, as the nation has already been informed by State House, His Excellency, the President of the Republic, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, will be traveling to attend the UN General Assembly. We are, as a party, reliably informed luxurious life of comfort and in line with election campaign promises on the treatment of the presidential jet, His Excellency the President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, will not be using this presidential jet going to attend the UN General Assembly. Instead, he will be traveling using normal commercial flights like any other citizen. So, that is a demonstration of prudence, of ensuring departure from extravagant utilization or abuse of public resources. His Excellency has also indicated that he will be traveling to New York with a very lean team, a very small team. Given that Zambia already has an ambassador to the UK and other workers, His Excellency has committed to keep his word and walk the talk. Very lean team, and you will see the number of people he will be traveling with, and traveling with ordinary routine commercial planes and not hiring a jet to go to attend that function. I thought I needed to make this very clear to buttress what the President has been preaching for many years. It's now time for action. There is a question to do with traditional leaders and the affairs of traditional leaders. We as a party, we will be commenting on political issues bordering on what we can reach out to. When something is bordering on government policy, such as treatment of traditional affairs, we will leave that to government to inform the nation, because that will be a governmental policy for which I'm sure the government, since it's cabinet now, will be able to let the nation. But I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. For media outlets who do have staffer in Livingstone, on Thursday, I have been tasked as Minister for the Southern Province to go and officially open the Chiefs Council of Chiefs, and I think it is chiefs for the entire province, Thursday morning. And maybe at that stage, I will have been directed what to tell their highnesses, because they'll be expecting, since their ministry has not been mentioned, to understand where they stand. So I await guidance in that capacity as a minister. That will be Thursday. The issue with the time frame, I think we have responded to the time frame in terms of promises that are dependent on resources, that you have to put your basics right in terms of the economy, then you are able to give a time frame. The budget will be announced soon. And the budget is the one that has time frames. The budget will tell you this is going to be operationalized starting midnight, 1st January, starting this day, this day. It is not a presidential speech. Otherwise, if the presidential speech encapsulated everything, then there would have been no need for a budget speech. So the budget is coming to give targeted governmental measures on challenges affecting our economy and the country, and also give specificities in terms of expected time frame. It will come in the budget. That is how budgets, direct expenditure of resources. They give time frames. It is expected this measure will come into place on such a day at midnight. No, this one will require additional legislation, maybe a statutory instrument. It will be done like this. So there is no need for hurry. But those who are hurrying to say, no, give us time frame, no, give us this, we have to understand them. Because presently, from the time President Hakainde Hichilema took over the reins of this country, he has been flawless. No criticism whatsoever, nothing. So when you have no criticism, is to look for things which you know they will come in the budget. You front them, no, but there is no time frame. Let us wait for the budget. The budget is the one that gives time frame to governmental measures. The issue of debt swap, that is squarely an issue of government policy which is beyond us as a party to comment on, because that is a product of cabinet consultations, and in our quest to be afloat with the nation in terms of us being a party that is ruling party, we shall not be overbearing and overlap in the province of a jurisdiction that we have no authority so to do. There is from Spring TV, is it? Markets and bus stops, that the old habits are coming back, people being levied illegally. We hear those concerns, but generally, the councils have taken over the affairs of bus stops and markets. We are also aware that there could be remnants of political arrogance, some of them from the old regime who want to metamorphosize themselves now as being UPND supporters or cadres. His Excellency has been very unequivocal on this particular matter, very clear that there should be no cadres in bus stops and markets masquerading in any capacity and thereby illegally collecting monies from unsuspecting public utility users. Nothing. And for us as a party, we reiterate what His Excellency has said and urge our genuine supporters that anybody found illegally collecting revenue from citizens at bus stops and stations and markets is not just committing a crime, he is actually performing an undertaking to undermine the leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema. And as a party, we shall not tolerate that. But we are happy that generally our genuine supporters have heeded to the guidance of the President. There is now a robust minister charged with the responsibility of handling the Ministry of Local Government, under whose jurisdiction markets and bus stops and stations fall under. We as a party are very happy. Honorable Nkombo is equal to the task, and we know that he will do a good job. these complaints very soon would diminish and disappear. We already saw him swing into action a few days ago with the help of all relevant security agencies, and more importantly, the cooperation of the citizens of this country. It is expected that the directives of the president will be executed. I think we can end here before we divert into other issues. Thank you very much, friends. Anybody who is going to misquote me,